welcome to another episode of League Watch with my co-hosts Gunnar and Bilal.
Shit.
And we're gonna kick it off with obviously the big news: World Cup winners Argentina, undisputed GOAT Messi.
Hey, we were right, boys.
What was
We were
your
right. We
reaction?
said in our guts, we were like Argentina was going to win.
Mhm.
In our
Yeah,
hearts,
I was
but in
off
our
by.
minds, we said France. But it was a great game.
No. I was. I think my prediction was 3-2 Argentina winning. I didn't predict the penalties, but what a game! Like,
I was off. I only had 2-1. So
mhm.
Yeah, I don't remember what I had, but like before the tournament, I think I guessed like Argentina versus France in the final, or it was like one of those two,
no,
or
you
Brazil
definitely
and
did.
France.
You were spot on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. What'd you guys think about the game?
That was like the first World Cup game besides early rounds where U.S. played England, where it was like I watched the whole thing and like
Mhm.
it really got me into it. I thought, okay, like Argentina's gonna be, win. They're gonna get the third goal in the second half because they were up 2-0, and I thought it was just a wrap. But Mbappe, oh my God, he almost single handedly took down Argentina. That was incredible. And to see him go to penalties was just like it was. I think speaking for all soccer fans, I guess that was something everyone wanted to see at the way to finish it. And like
Mhm.
just props to Argentina's goalkeeper. I mean, he had some clutch saves at the end too. But that was a phenomenal game. And I don't think you could have asked for a better World Cup than that.
Yeah,
No, for
I
sure.
think it was the best sporting event that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like two of the best players in the game going at it. Messi's like hits his last chance to get the World Cup. All these storylines. They come out to a quick 2-0 lead. They're dominating the whole game until like the 70th minute, and then like Mbappe and France come to life, and they start dominating the game. And Argentina's just trying to hang on, and you get an extra time, and then Messi scores, and then fucking Mbappe scores on a penalty, and then that save you were talking about, Gunner, by Emiliano Martinez in the 120th minute,
Mm-hmm.
like literally the last seconds of the game, 1-on-1, and he stops it while doing like a full split and kicks it out with his left leg,
Yeah.
and then his like shithousery and like mental tactics in the penalty shootouts is like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like Messi showed up, Mbappe showed up. Both teams like took blows like back to back, and it was crazy. I think it was probably the best sporting event that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was just one of those World Cup finals that it ended in a such electrifying way because I honestly thought Argentina had it in the bag, for like most of the game, and then Mbappe happens, and he goes hot, and uh, but just overall the match itself, like I'm so happy for Lionel Messi. This kind of caps off his career, and I think this puts him as the undisputed GOAT. I know the whole Messi versus Ronaldo, but Ronaldo didn't play his best World Cup. Um, but just definitely happy that Messi finally got that one trophy that he was like missing for his career.
Yeah, he finally got the elusive trophy that was he was chasing. But I feel like
Hmm.
he was still the undisputed GOAT beforehand. But
Hmm.
this just put the period at the end of the sentence. Like you can't say anything now. Like he won a World Cup.
Hmm.
He led the team, but he's the sole engine. So yeah.
So speaking of
Do you
those two, do you
consider?
think it's gonna be the last time you'll see them in the World Cup stage for both of them?
Uh,
I think they'll bring
Wait.
back Messi since he's a bit younger. I think like 2 years younger, but not by
No,
a lot.
Ronaldo's. I don't know if Gunnar was talking about Ronaldo as a second person, but
I'm talking, yeah, Messi.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about like the greats, I'm referring to Messi
Mhm.
right now. I know Mbappe because he was in the finals. I know he'll come back because he's younger and stuff. But I'm talking about,
Mbappe is crazy, bro. This
yeah,
man
Yeah.
is like, I
Yeah.
don't know, but
And Mbappe, he's only 24, so he got at least
he
three
just
more
turned
World
he's
Cups
24
only
left.
wait,
today.
he's only 24.
He turned
He's
24
only
today.
yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
so
won a
he
World
got
Cup at
three.
like 19, 20.
Mhm.
that's insane.
I don't recall the last World Cup. Was Mbappe a big factor in the last World Cup?
Mbappe like was the best player on that team. That's where
Hmm.
he like showed up to the world. He was like 19 and he
Hmm.
was playing better than everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where
Yeah.
like
So
Mbappe like became known. But
yeah.
but yeah, like speaking of Ronaldo, Ronaldo's done. Like he's washed. We don't even talk about him. But Messi said that he wants to keep playing international football with Argentina. He wants to play
Hmm.
with the World Cup patch and the three stars.
Mhm.
So in Argentina, I feel like if Messi wanted to play the next World Cup, he'll be there regardless of like how he's playing. Because
I mean, the
he's
squad
like
that
he's an
he
icon for that city, for that country.
like the squad that he has, they're not that old either, right? Like they got
No,
some young
Ar-
pieces that
Argentina
can
has
still
a
carry
bunch of
over.
young talent. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Where maybe the next World Cup, maybe Messi's not the primary like scorer or anything like that, and he doesn't have to carry the team. So just the fact that he has a young squad that can still produce at a high level, I think should benefit a Messi for the next World Cup for sure. But
yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, and then Mbappe, this kid is special. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see him win at least another World Cup, just because
No,
I think
Yeah, France is too
like
loaded.
yeah, and like did you say that France wasn't even at their full strength? Like they were missing a couple pieces due to injuries.
Yeah, they're missing Pogba, Benzema, who's like won the Ballon d'Or this year, but
Mm-hmm.
he said he retired from international football.
Oh
There's this
really?
whole like backstory where like Benzema could have played for the final. He
Mm-hmm.
could have came back, but like some members of the French national team didn't want him back, and
Mm-hmm.
like so on and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, there's a lot of drama in football. I had no
Like
idea.
they're missing Pogba, Conte. Pogba was basically the captain last World Cup for the team.
Okay.
He was like the heart and soul of the team. Conte was like the best defensive midfielder. So
Mm-hmm.
they were just, but still, France is still so stacked that they had like backups who were like just as good at them.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't diminish Argentina's victory. Like Argentina dominated the first, like their midfield controlled the game the first 7 minutes, and they subbed off Di Maria, who's their best offensive player that game. And then
Mm-hmm.
then France started gaining control back, and like the penalty, they got the momentum, and Mbappe with that volley, the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
second goal that he had was crazy. But yeah, and then they were
Yeah.
just hanging out
And
after that.
and I guess we talk about the match itself being like electrifying and just one of the best sporting events in history. Will you sum up the whole World Cup overall as one of the best, like all time?
Uh, as for the football, yeah, it was one of the
Mm-hmm.
best World Cups of all time, football wise. But everything else now. But as for the product on the field, yeah, it had the
Mm-hmm.
most goals ever scored in the World Cup. There were like so many upsets. There were like teams coming back right at the death. There were so many great shootouts. It's so
Mm-hmm.
intense. So yeah,
I didn't know if this World Cup set a record for like for like penalty games, because it feels like they had a lot of penalties like this.
I have to look it up, but yeah, you're right. There were a lot.
I mean, it feels like Croatia had like what 2-3 matches that was decided to like through penalties.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I think this is definitely gonna go down as one of the best World Cups in history. I know a lot of people were debating that the Brazil World Cup was up there as like a fun one, and then to South Africa. But yeah, overall, I think this has been of definitely like amazing World Cup. I'm interested to see if Gunnar has this kind of introduced and opened the door to you to following soccer now.
No, bro, I'll be back in 4 years. That's all I gotta say. Y'all thought, yeah, I had y'all. Y'all thought I was being gross. No, man, no. I'll see you again in
uh,
4 years when US is back.
4 years. Yes,
Yeah, because I
I mean
just feel
US is
like
gonna
as
be
an
back.
American, like obviously soccer without a doubt is the biggest sport in the world, and as American, like MLS is completely irrelevant, and it's just where washed international players go to basically play out their final years, and it's not
Mhm.
even like really much to talk about. I just feel like overseas and European, like it's just hard to get into because I feel like their leagues are so different. Because you talk about what's that term when you take a team they go down like the top two bottom teams
relegation.
relegation? Yeah, like I didn't know what that was until like 2 months ago. So yeah, no. My answer is no. I'll see you guys in 4 years though when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about the right football, the American football, the best football?
Well, actually, one more topic that I want to pick on Bilal's brain is basically like who got next, because I know Messi and Cristiano, they're both up getting in age, and it's gonna be sad to see them like both retire one day. But my idea of the who got next will be Mbappe versus Erling Haaland. I was watching some highlights of Erling, and this dude plays like a beast. Like he's a monster. He's only
Uh,
22 years old. He's 6'4". He's crazy fast, and he reminds me of like Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of like power in his leg because he hits some crazy
Nah,
power.
he's definitely like more physically imposing than Mbappe. He might be
Hmm.
just as fast,
Hmm.
and he's like a true number nine, like a tank. He's basically a tank. I don't know if you've seen
Hmm.
him run,
Oh
but
no, I saw a 100-meter run that he caught out to the ball to score. Like this dude was running at 34 kilometer miles per hour, something crazy like that. Like
nah,
full.
he's definitely like up there with Mbappe, top five player in the world. It's just that
Hmm.
he won't get a chance to showcase it because he plays for Norway,
Hmm.
and like they're even like with his like skill, I don't think he can lead them far in the World Cup because they've never been that good.
Yeah,
But
that's the
that's the only thing
only.
that's gonna hold him back,
Yeah, in
like
terms of the
popularity wise.
international level, I definitely agree. Norway didn't made it to the World Cup. I don't even recall if they made it last World Cup or not.
No, they
Um,
didn't even make it to the Euros, I think, which
oh
is
really?
just a European competition. But the thing with
Yeah.
Mbappe, I mean, Holland is he's playing in the best league in the world and he's dominating it.
Hmm.
He's on pace to shatter all the goal scoring records for the
Hmm.
break. So
Yeah, I think for this rivalry to flourish because I would love them to go back to head because like head to head because they're both close in similar age. He's 22 and Mbappe is 24. So I'm really hoping that this is the next big rivalry that we witness. I think Mbappe has to leave the league in France and play for like a different league, so just so they can go head to head. But
yeah,
yeah, that's definitely my thoughts on that. All right, I guess we touch up on the World Cup. Amazing match, amazing World Cup. It's it's gonna go down in history as like one of the best matches, and Messi the
Facts.
goat.
Facts.
Yeah,
hey,
so
next World Cup is gonna be in North America, so we should go to
mhm.
some games.
USA. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll make a
for real,
vlog.
for
We
real.
should. Oh, bro. If we ever
No,
go to
no,
like
facts.
football games, like any sporting event, we get together, even if it's like a Rockets game, check
Mhm.
the YouTube. We're making a vlog, baby.
Yeah, we'll
Going all
do.
out.
I know the NRG is going to be hosting. For Houston is going to be hosting matches. We're gonna do a road trip to Mexico to like watch some of the matches down there too. I'm not sure.
Mexico.
I'm not sure which city. I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna be in Mexico City that they're gonna be hosting.
Mexico City, or like there's another one like Monterey. They have
Oh,
like a
okay.
nice stadium in the mountains. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
bro. Sam, we'll be set. You're our translator over there. You'll be good to go.
but
I'll
yeah,
chime in with some broken Spanish, like "Donde está el partido de fútbol?" Stuff like
yeah,
that. You know.
yeah. I was looking at the prices for the games at Qatar, and they weren't like crazy. I mean, at least for the group
No, but
stage.
to get World Cup tickets is like a process that begins like 2 years in advance. You have to like sign up for like wait list,
Mhm.
so on and so on. So it's not mainly about the price. It's just about like access.
And in the
Oh,
North
actually,
America one, there's gonna be alcohol. That's
And
that's
then
the
and then
key.
and then like the resale market and like everything else, it's gonna be a shit show. So
yeah.
as
I'm
long
just
as you get on the
hoping.
Like any major ticketing event.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm just hoping
especially
that
in the
they
U.S.
that they get organized and have it like a system down because I don't know if you guys heard with the whole thing with like what's it called Ticketmaster and like
Ticketmaster's a mess, bro.
it's a mess right now. They sold duplicates of a Bad Bunny concert in Mexico, so a lot of people couldn't get in because they're like these tickets have been claimed and it's crazy. So I hope they get organized and give the people a chance to purchase World Cup tickets because I think it's going to be a fun one. Because there's a lot of young talent, up and coming talent that's going to be a display next World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now moving on to the NFL, I'm gonna hand this off to Gunner. Yeah,
So I
go
think
off.
a good way to break down this weekend, we got like the biggest losers and the biggest winners. And I think the
Mhm.
biggest loser of this weekend was Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts. And first off, can we please take away Matt Ryan's nickname because he no longer deserves it? Matty Ice. I think his nickname is gone. He can no longer be called Matty Ice. That was ridiculous. To lose when you're up 33-0 in the second half. That's insane to me. I don't know if you guys have anything to talk about it, but for me, I feel like it wasn't a coincidence. I feel like Jim Irsay was like, "Hey, we gotta let this second game go," and they decided to tank. I don't know what happened, but
Now Jeff Saturday, if they would have won that game or like dominated, he would have gotten the job for next year. So I feel like Colts fans like dodged a bullet that the Vikings came back. But that game just like reassured us that like the Vikings are frauds, even if they came back. Like
Yeah.
to be down 33-0 in the first place to the Indianapolis Colts at home is an utter embarrassment. Like Kirk Cousins, his first pick, the receiver stopped running the route. His second pick, he threw a pick six. I don't know where the hell he was looking. But yeah, the Vikings have too much talent to be down that much. So like, I'm not taking them seriously the rest of the way. Like they might win one playoff game, but they're not gonna do anything. That's my
Why?
thoughts.
Yeah, it just go. We've had this conversation with Kirk Cousins. Like, I think the Vikings could be so much better and potential Super Bowl champions if they had just a better quarterback. I think that's just what it comes down to because he's so mediocre. And I don't think he has the skill level to take him all the way. And then the second biggest loser I wanted to talk about was the Patriots and the Raiders. I don't know if you guys saw that or know about it, Sam.
That's crazy.
No, fill me
Okay,
in. Fill me
so
in. Give me a story.
just to paint a picture,
Wait! Don't tell him. See, I want to see his live reaction. Sam, go look up the last play of the Patriots Raiders game.
Last play of the Patriots.
Yeah,
Okay.
the score. I think the score is like 24-24. Last play of the game. I just want to see your reaction.
But yeah, anyways, Josh McDaniels gets bailed out in like the most ridiculous way possible again. He's had a couple games this season where he's just been bailed out. They don't even have a lot of wins. So it just goes to show that like he shouldn't be a head coach in NFL.
We talked about this. He has so much talent, and this team is like underperforming. Like
they're
crazy.
worse. Like that's we talked about it. They're worse than last year, and they have better talent. It's insane. And the same thing on the other side of the ball with Matt Patricia. Like I don't understand if you have 5 seconds left in the fourth and you're running a running back draw, a halfback draw on that play. To burn out the clock, then just take a knee. I don't understand. You really think you're going to get a touchdown from that play? Just take the knee and end the game.
Even attempt a Hail Mary. They said Mac Jones can't throw that far. It's like 55, 60 yards, bro.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's
just throw it down there.
Hail Mary is a safer option because even if it's intercepted, they're not going to return it that far. It would be insane.
Are you watching
it?
Yeah. And also, Mac Jones got absolutely stiff armed to oblivion.
He got sent to the fucking shadow realm with that stiff arm, bro.
Exactly.
Mac Jones is 6'3", like 220 something.
But he didn't even make an effort. He just kind of like I know he's a quarterback, but he's a big boy. I mean, you've seen that picture of Alabama smoking a cigar. He's a big boy. He could have taken him down easily, not easily, but at least slow him down enough for other teammates to come in and just tackle on him. I feel bad for Jacoby Myers because that was the dumbest play I've ever seen in my life. I think he handled like the post-game press conference like interview pretty well. He just took full responsibility and didn't like pull Zach Wilson and was like, oh no, that wasn't on me, which would have been hard to do. But I feel bad for the guy. Sports, there's a lot of crazy things that happen, but I think for me, I think that was the craziest so far this season. Was that?
Yeah.
To lose a game in that fashion is mind-boggling.
First of all, the Raiders tied the game where the receiver caught a touchdown and one of his feet were like out of bounds. So it shouldn't have been tied in the first place. The officials blew that call, and then for that to happen, this is crazy.
Well, they also blew a call. I just want to talk about it real quick as I'm thinking about it. They also blew a call against the Washington Commanders and Giants game at the end. That was blatantly PI and like cost them the game.
That's a big divisional game too. Both teams are trying to make the
Exactly. That had a huge implications for the playoff picture. So, and then speaking of Zach Wilson, how do you think he performed? Who the hell did they play? I'm totally blanking.
Surging Detroit Lions, bro.
Yeah, bro.
They're 1-6 now. They're 7-7, and they're like on track to make the playoffs. Like I'm rooting for. They're so fun to watch.
They're a good team because I think Jared Goff received a lot of hate, especially his time as a Ram, and I think throughout the season it's showing that like he's not the problem. Like you can win with Jared Goff, and I'll circle back to this point that I made before. I don't think the Lions should draft a quarterback, and I hope they don't draft a quarterback. With their high pick, I think they should go after a really good DB or safety to improve their secondary because that's like their biggest weakness in that team is their secondary because they're constantly getting burned. Despite Jeff Okudah having a much better season compared to his previous seasons, though. But yeah, I kind of just went on like a full tangent there and talked about different things in the NFL. But I'm rooting for the Lions. I think they can make the playoffs. Yeah, and then I just wanted to talk about like the NFC South is officially the new NFC East.
That division is so garbage. The Bucks blow a lead. The Panthers didn't show up this week, I guess.
The Saints won. I'm like, technically, we have a chance of making the playoffs now. I don't know. I don't think we are, but it's just funny.
And Desmond Ritter looked like they're one of the worst rookie quarterback debut performances of all time.
That's right. He did debut Marcus Mariota.
He made the Saints defense look elite, which is hard to do, but yeah.
No, I mean, it's biased as a Saints fan, but our defense is our hallmark. Like, we've had.
That's not saying something because the Saints are trash, but yeah.
I know, but like the defense has gotten a lot better over the past years. I'm just saying, but yeah, all those three teams are sitting at 5 and 9, and the Bucks are sitting at 6 and 8, right? Am I dumb? Math?
I think so,
yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of the Buccaneers, do you think Tom Brady should retire after this, like he should have originally, or what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
he has he has no line, but he should have just hung it out, hung his cleats up last year. He went out on top. He threw 50 touchdowns, and yeah, and then he lost his family. And he's trash. And there's reports that he might keep playing. He might go back.
Yeah, I've seen those reports. Yeah, if he goes back to Patriots, my God.
I mean, yeah, my thing is that I guess even though they're number one in their division, you can tell that the Bucks are not going nowhere in the postseason. Like with Tom Brady, I think I don't know if he had any major changes to the roster. I know he lost a couple pieces, but
it's mainly the O line.
The O line,
because he has a couple All Pro offensive linemen who Christian Wirfs is out. His starting center Ryan Jensen's out. One lineman retired, and then another one's hurt too.
And he's got no one to throw to too, because the receivers can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So it's just a bad mix, and especially with a guy like that, Tom Brady needs a solid O-line to throw from a pocket because he ain't running with the ball. Let me tell you that. He's not scrambling. But I just thought he should have just retired when he won the Super Bowl with the Bucks. That's such a Cinderella story ending right there.
Yeah,
just to come in.
What's the perfect
season. Exactly, it was perfect. So I'm perplexed on why he just didn't end it there, and he should have ended it last year. I just think he's so far in deep that I think he'll just keep playing. Yeah. I just
he got cocky. He got cocky. He was like, "Oh, easy win."
I don't think he's cocky. I think he's obsessed. He doesn't know what he's gonna do without it. He retired for 30-something days. I think he missed and last year he showed that he could still play. So I think that was a big reason why he came back too. He's if you've seen his documentaries and stuff in the back, he's done a bunch of stuff. He's I'll only retire when I know I can't play. If I'm playing, then why the hell would I not try to come back and win another Super Bowl? So yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that mentality, but at some point there comes a line where you're just hang it up.
Yeah.
You think that Tom Brady can have more success if he had better weapons, in a different team or so? Because I don't know.
No, his weapons when healthy is are really good on paper. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Julio's just decent third. He's Leonard Fournette and Rashard White. It's just that he misses Gronk a lot, his tight end, and his best friend. Brady's always been a tight end guy, and he doesn't have a reliable tight end threat this year. So
that's they have Cameron Brate.
Yeah, Cameron Brate is a wash, but
he's all right.
And then the last thing I want to talk about is the Jags, who look like they're going to win the AFC South. They control their own destiny. Trevor Lawrence looking like the people. He's playing like the player that people thought he was when he was drafted number 1 overall.
Yeah.
Last year he had 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. This year 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and we're still going. Big reason I think is that he has an actual NFL coach now and not a joke of Urban Meyer. He's a clown. But no, he's been playing like an all-pro Pro Bowl quarterback the last couple of weeks, or the last 7 or 8 weeks. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, he basically had a Peyton Manning rookie season where he just threw a lot of picks like Peyton did. So he's definitely rebounded for that. And I think the biggest thing is the coaching. As you just said, Urban Meyer was not. Yeah, he was ahead. That was his title, but he wasn't actually the head coach. So I think he was just a huge distraction and just completely hindered the team. And Doug Peterson, say what you want, but he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He knows what
No,
he's doing.
Peterson's a good coach, especially offensive coach. And like, even if you ask the Jags players in the post game when they asked them like what changed from last year to this year, all of them say, "Oh, coaching,"
Yeah.
because they didn't have any coaching last year. They're
Yeah.
like, we're actually prepared this year, and like
Mhm.
it's just like more confident and stuff like that.
Well, what's the next
exactly.
step for the Jaguars to like take then if they're trying to keep that building?
I feel like they have a lot of talent. It's just like improving their defense and
Yeah.
like adding like they're like 1 or 2 stars away from like legit competing.
Mhm.
But it's mainly improving the defense. I mean, they had the number 1 overall pick this year, and they drafted a defensive player, Trayvon Walker.
Mhm.
They're gonna have a high pick this year too, probably, or like in the mid ranges. So yeah, and then they always spend money in free agency too.
Yeah, clearly
So,
Christian Kirk, for example.
yeah, that was a great pickup because Kirk is like a really good receiver.
Yeah. I know
Everyone
almost
thought they overpaid for him, and then Kirk has been like a borderline top 10, top 15 receiver this year. He's been like under the radar. But Zay Jones is coming. Another free agent acquisition they got. Zay Jones. He's been
Bro, he
playing
had
like a
3
top.
touchdowns last game.
Yeah, he's been playing
Insane.
really good lately. Evan Ingram, another free agent pickup. He's been a really good tight end. He's young too. He's been playing like one of the top tight ends in the league. They have a rookie, basically a rookie running back, Travis Etienne. We didn't play last year because he was hurt. He had a breakthrough this year. So they have a lot of talent, and
Yeah,
they might run
originally
the
when
division for the next
Clemson,
couple of years.
not Clemson, originally when the Jaguars drafted him from Clemson, I thought it was just a consolation pick for Trevor Lawrence to make him happy, but it's definitely paid off since
Nah,
they
he's
traded away
balling.
James Robinson. Is that really it in the NFL? Like we got like a few points, like Eagles in 13-1. I know from I think Adam Schefter post that Jalen Hurts is not going to play against the Cowboys, and it's going to be Gardner Minshew as quarterback 1, which kind of like ruins the whole matchup that everyone was kind of waiting for, since both teams have been kind of talking. Mainly Cowboys have been talking shit about each other.
It's
I
all
feel like
Cowboys.
if Hurts was healthy, the Eagles would have destroyed the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's like the Cowboys like lately they almost lost to the Texans. They blew a big lead to the Jags. Their defense was the thing carrying them all season, and it's been horrendous the last couple of weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, Micah
Everyone
has
wants to
kind of like
point.
pulled down.
It feels like everyone figured them out.
Everyone wants to point at like Dak Prescott for like these losses, but like I think, as you guys just mentioned, it is the defense.
Yeah,
I mean, like Dak threw like a pick, but I mean, like if you guys saw
it
that one
bounced off the
pick,
receiver's hands.
yeah, like that's
So
there
I think
needs
it's
to
the
be
defense.
some sort of asterisk, like in my opinion, that if a quarterback throws a pick and it bounces off the receivers or is in the receiver's hands or something like along those lines, it needs to be clarified. Like it wasn't the QB's fault, like almost like an error in baseball. That's what they should do to like clarify, like, hey, like it's a completed pass except for da da da. But yeah, I feel like Cowboys just are funny because they get a lot of social media attention because they're one of the bigger teams or America's team. And Dak likes to get a lot of attention on media, and sports analysts like to trash him. But like, granted, he's not been playing lights out, but he's been playing good, and their defense, which has always been rock solid, is the one that's failing them. And it's kind of unfortunate for them that the Eagles are not fully healthy, especially with Jalen Hurts, because it would be a really good test for them going into the playoffs and kind of see where they stand against basically the best team in the league right now. So I do think that Cowboys are going to win, no problem. Nothing against Gardner Minshew. He's a good quarterback, but he's nothing like Jalen Hurts. So, but if they lose against the Eagles with Gardner Minshew, then they're in trouble.
That's
the
a red
Cowboys.
flag.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag. So we'll see if the Cowboys can pull off a playoff game later this year, because they haven't in a long time.
Are you putting the match with the Cowboys on the taking the win, or are you think the Eagles are going to take the win?
Kind of like Bilal was saying, if Jalen Hurts was healthy, I think I would root for the Eagles all the way, because they're just a better team. Like, they're great teams, but I think Eagles are just a slightly better team. I think their offense and defense is honestly slightly better, in my opinion. So it'd be a good game, though. I think it'd be high scoring for sure.
All right, you guys want to start with the NBA?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
First news is AD, Dr. Glass. He's out for he's
Bro,
out for multiple weeks.
And you guys saw how he sprained his ankle?
I thought it was his foot. Is it an ankle foot?
I think it's his whole foot.
It
might be his whole foot this time.
He sprained in midair. Like his like foot clashed with like somebody's leg, and when he landed, he was like that's when he felt the pain. But Like he didn't roll it or like anything. His leg just kicked somebody else's leg.
It's like horrible timing because AD finally was like in good form again. He was
Yep.
dominating. He was playing like a top 5 player.
Mhm.
And now this
Mhm.
happens, and people are saying it doesn't look good. He might be out for like a long time, extended period of time. So that really screws over the Lakers too. Because now, like, what's the point of them making any trades? Like this season, they're not going to do anything, even if LeBron goes like Super Saiyan. But but yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
my
Mr.
my question is, do you guys think they should like eventually shut down LeBron or just keep playing, make the trades, and still compete?
What's wrong with LeBron though? Because they just played the Lakers. Or I'm sorry, the Lakers just played the Suns yesterday, and he was out. And I don't know what's wrong with him. Is he
I think they were just
resting
resting
or
him.
is he's
Resting.
resting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam. If you're gonna make a point, we literally said in the same time, so I wasn't sure it was gonna go.
No. Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking like they're not that far off in terms of like. I mean, the West they're pretty close in matches like 15, 16, 18, 17. So I don't think they should shut down LeBron this early
Not
in the
shut him down,
season.
but like eventually, like if things aren't going well, would you like save his body?
I mean, it depends if he wants to pass Kareem's record. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it's going to happen a little bit later in the season. I think it just depends. If they're out of the play-ins tournament, then like shut them down. You know, like there's no
I feel
point
like
of
they
him.
are going to be. And like
Yeah.
if you're a Pelicans fan, this is like great news because you own their pick. It's not
Mhm.
protected.
Mhm.
So yeah, win-win for them.
Yeah.
Okay, but
And I don't.
let's be hypothetical here, because
Mhm.
like when AD was healthy and he was putting up ridiculous numbers, and they had like a nice winning streak going. If for whatever reason, if AD comes back and like they're healthy and they're making moves, and like the trade deadline hasn't hit yet, what moves are you making to improve this roster? That's what I'm curious about, because there's a lot of hypothetical trades going online, like a lot of drafts, like a lot of those Instagram pages, social media pages, kind of coming up with different trades. Just want to get
Uh,
like your guys' thoughts on it.
if you want to compete in LeBron's window and you don't care about the future, then do the Indiana trade. Like Buddy Hield, Miles Turner for like a couple first round, the 2027 and the 2029 first round picks.
And
But
include Westbrook in that, or no?
I mean, Westbrook is playing well off the bench. So there are reports like they don't want to trade Westbrook now.
So what, you throw
Mhm.
in like Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn, or
Yeah, probably.
yeah, a lot of the
Yeah.
trades I see is including Patrick Beverly and or Kendrick Nunn, and just shipping them off with a pick package.
Yeah, because I mean, Patrick Beverly hasn't been producing as like many people thought he would. Like especially on the defensive end, he's letting people cook him. Except for
Bro,
you saw
my
that
man wants to call people cones. He's a cone, bro. Patrick Beverly's a cone, bro.
you saw that he called CP3 like small
Little,
Yeah,
after.
that's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm referring to.
But yeah,
Come at the point guard.
because Austin Reeves he's been playing really well.
Dude, Austin
Yeah,
Reeves, shout out Austin Reeves, making all the white boys look good. I saw that dude in person, up close. I would have not guessed he was an NBA basketball player. My God. I was like, dude, you are like pretty average height, no build, and you're on an NBA roster. Shout out
bro.
Austin Reeves.
My friend went to like a hoop session today, and Garrison Matthews pulled up, and they were like talking about him like that.
But and then I forgot also, because I was just at the game. Like I forgot Scottie Pippen Jr. was on this team. I had no idea. That's crazy to
yeah,
me. I don't know. He is not.
yeah. I thought they had him on the like in the G
I
League
think
or
he's a
something like
two-way
that.
player. I think that's what it
Two-way
is.
player.
They have a two-way player, and I think they're just
Okay.
using him because just name, because he wasn't doing much,
Mhm.
because he got more minutes last night just because of all the injuries they were having. Also, I noticed that Russell Westbrook didn't play. What's wrong with him? Or is that just another rest thing?
Probably
I
just
think it's
hurt.
another rest.
I don't think
Yeah.
Jesus,
Westbrook
man.
is a guy who needs rest.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it'd be rest. So I don't know what his issue was, but yeah.
Probably just hurt. I want to give a quick shout out to Jokic. He had a 40, 27, and a triple double. 40 points, 27 rebounds, I think 10 assists, triple double. But that's crazy. And like the Nuggets are like surging up this West standings again. I think they're
Mhm.
like third,
They're
but
second now.
second. And
Yeah.
like they're playing tonight too. They're facing. I think they're beating the Grizzlies tonight.
Yeah,
So
they're blowing them out. I think currently.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Like it's realistically like he should be in the chase with his third straight MVP. So,
You think that's going to happen? You don't think voter fatigue
nah,
is
I
going to
think
kick in?
the voter fatigue is a real thing in the NBA. They're just probably want to. They probably give it to like Luca, Tatum, or like somebody else. If the Pelicans finish first, maybe Zion. But I don't know.
I mean, it's hard because if voters take into account like winning, the Mavericks have been struggling this season. Like even though Luka has been playing like himself like really well, just the fact that the team is not having the success. I don't think he's my favorite now to win the MVP.
I think
Uh,
it's gonna be
mhm.
Jokic, Giannis, or probably one of the Pelicans players. Zion, maybe.
Zion,
That's
yeah.
it.
So,
Tatum
uh,
was a dark horse, but like now he's not anymore.
yeah, and maybe Ja. I think the Grizzlies making a lot of noise on the West for being
If he stays healthy, yeah.
yeah. Is he hurt right now?
Uh,
I think he was
I don't,
healthy.
I don't think he's hurt, but it's just like he gets hurt like he misses like 10 or 12 games a year in a
Hmm.
stretch. So we'll see.
I
And the
think with
Grizzlies usually play well without him anyway.
yeah, that's another point. It kind of goes along with JT, Jason Tatum. I think with Jason Tatum, that team is just really good and plays really well together. And then he has JB, Jalen Brown, as like his partner. So I feel like yeah, they want to play their best and be great, but I don't think Jason Tatum's worried about MVP. And so he can have great performances, but it's also split among Jalen Brown and that team. So
Hmm.
and like along the MVP race, I think honestly like Luca and Zion probably have better chances of winning it. Not that Jokic isn't playing lights out, and Giannis isn't playing lights out too, but like Luca has been putting up ridiculous numbers since the season started, and he's consistently doing that. And yeah, they're losing and they're not playing great, but he's singularly handling like carrying that team and making them relevant in any conversation. So,
I feel like they want to give
Hmm.
Luka the MVP so bad. They're like
Hmm.
itching.
but
The
I
Mavs
like even as a Suns fan though, I wouldn't be mad if he got it because that's well deserved for his
nah,
because
like he deserves it. It's just if they start winning, if they're like top three in the West, I think they're gonna give it to Luka over Jokic because of voter fatigue, and Luka deserves it as much as Jokic. So
Yeah, and the fact that he is carrying more of the load, I think, since his team is a lot less talented than the other MVP front runners, it's just the fact that he's carrying his team to like whatever wins they can get. This just makes him more impressive, for sure.
yeah. And then shout out. I'm just gonna shout out anyway. Shout out Devin Booker for 58-point game against the Pelicans this past Saturday.
yeah, that
Played
was a good game.
played lights out, man. He was throwing up some crazy shot, some crazy heat check. He had a fadeaway three in the far corner. I was like, damn.
I think he got 58 points in like 28 shots or something. It was like really efficient 58.
Yeah, he had like over 60 percentage field goal percentage. So that was insane to me.
Yeah, and then
He played really good ball.
another shout out to the Knicks who won tonight and they're on an 8 game winning streak, I think. And then the next Nets are on a 6 game winning streak.
That's
Yeah,
sitting at fourth and Nick sitting at six. Okay.
Yeah, you think
Okay.
Knicks are making the playoffs this season?
I mean at least the play-in. They made the playoffs 2 years ago. Last year was like a downturn, but they're like
Mhm.
supposedly turned the corner. It all depends on like Randall playing well.
Mhm.
Brunson's like been a great picker for them, and like I know Knicks fans want them to play Quentin Grimes and Trey McBride more, and they started doing that. So I think they're on a good path.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weren't there rumors that they were gonna blow it up and just rebuild or something like that? Since they made mediocre.
Maybe. I mean, they just signed Brunson to a big contract. They have Randall
Hmm.
for a big contract. I don't think they have like any incentive to blowing it up right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then should we talk about the athletic article that came out today, or was it today or yesterday about Zach LaVine and the Bulls?
Yeah, it's like some the Bulls and Zach LaVine aren't seeing eye to eye. That was like the I think title of the article. But like apparently some players like called them out and like Levine like fired back at him and then like they got into like an altercation or something which got the coaching staff involved. But yeah, I think he's like not liked in the locker room anymore. And the Bulls might be looking to trade him eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because it's such a talented team, but like you have Vucevic, Levine,
He's on the
and
downside of
DeMar.
his career. DeRozan's on the downside of his career. I feel
That's
like
fair, but I mean, like they still have a couple really good seasons left in their gas tanks, in my opinion. And you wouldn't think this team was going to sit at 11 to 18 though, and near the bottom of the Eastern Conference though. you can say what you want, and they're like at their tail ends or like their past or like peak careers, but it's just surprising to see where they sit right now. But at the same time, no, because it's such a weird combination of players in the sense of like how you're going to get them to work and work together. And then Lonzo Ball basically being out for basically the whole season doesn't help either.
That hurts him because he was like a big part of that team. His team
Yeah,
success.
he
So
is the floor general for that team. He's a point guard. He basically coordinates the whole offense and takes control. He orchestrates everything.
I
And it
feel
looks
like
like
if the
Lonzo
Bulls wanted,
Ball. Yeah,
sorry.
no, let's go. It's feel like Lonzo Ball. He started to become injury prone too. Like it's kind of hard to depend on him to be like um, a big part of this group if he's going to be out for extended periods in and out of the lineup. So that just hinders to the Bulls if like what type of success they want like in the near future.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you do with that team? Like how do like you blow it up? It's like, okay, who do you get and what? Like you just blow it up and just get picks and have a bunch of bums like OKC and then start building young talent again.
I mean,
That's anybody.
there's that 7-footer. I mean, there's a 7-footer coming up in the next draft. That a
Yeah,
lot of
but
teams
like
are interested.
there's guy like I understand that, but like you have that conversation, everybody's going for that guy now.
No, but
Like
there's another thing. There's like 4 or 5 legit legit stars this draft. It's a deep draft, top heavy. So yeah,
exactly,
they
yeah.
could blow it up.
You could say like same thing about we're talking about Eastern Conference teams, talking about bad teams. You talk about the Raptors too, since it's on the conversation of like they're sitting, I think even below. No, they're sitting above Raptors, and Raptors are 13-18 and Bulls are 12-18. Like that's not going to get. It's just not going to help you make playoffs. And it's
And then
funny
like
enough because
Scotty Barnes has regressed from his rookie year, especially like shooting wise. So and then they're not playing like a team. Fred VanVleet has been like super inefficient. OG and Anunoby, there's like been rumors that they can get like a haul for him. Every team wants him.
I mean those conversations have been happening since the offseason, going into the season. They were talking
Yeah.
about trading him anyways, and I just feel like that messes with the player obviously when that's being thrown around. So why not just take him out of there and get
I
your
mean, if you wanted to blow it up, this is the year to blow it up, and you should do it fast
yeah.
because
So
you
it'll be
understand.
interesting when it trade deadline gets closer and see what starts popping. So
You guys want to move on to the news about the Suns? Free at last,
yeah,
gonna free at last.
yeah. I don't know, man. The only thing I'll touch upon it, they were purchased for like $4 billion. I think that just goes to show like how much money is in the NBA in terms of franchises and how much money is like these teams are really worth. Because I think earlier this offseason they talked about buying the Portland Blazers for like $2 billion, and that offer got rejected. There was a group that wanted to buy them.
Yeah,
So I think
Phil
that just
Knight group.
yeah, thank you. I think that just goes to show that like these teams are way more than what
Yeah,
people really think.
and the fact that the Suns is considered a small market team too, and they were
Yeah.
able to be sold for $4 billion, it's really impressive, and it shows where the market stands for across the league. Like the fact that like I'm thinking like a team maybe like the 76ers, that team could probably be sold for like $7 billion or something like that.
Yeah, any like
Uh,
the Knicks,
The
Lakers, yep.
Warriors are probably like close to like 9-10 now.
Yeah.
mhm.
They're
Or
probably the
like
most expensive
7
team
or
in the league, honestly.
and
The
it's
amount of
and to
success
think
they've
their
had.
owners bought them for like 200 mil. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Suns were
Like
bought for like that price too the last time that they were
Mhm.
sold. So I mean like that's an explosion in value right there.
Yeah, and like from your perspective, now that there's new ownership, what type of changes do you want the Suns to be? Like, do you want it to be more aggressive with spending on like getting like players in the off season, or like what type of change like you're like looking
I
forward to?
mean, it's not like we're getting like a Steve Ballmer type of owner
Mhm.
as a Suns fan. I don't think
No,
to
like
me
I actually think you might be, because his net worth is 7 times Sarver, and he's a big basketball guy. He's an MSU alum. He played college basketball. He like donates to their athletic program all the time. So I think
Mhm.
he's
oh,
gonna be
see
like
like
super invested.
I didn't know any background. I just knew that they had purchased. So like we'll see what happens. But I mean,
Mhm.
like I said, we'll see because like sometimes they change owners and it's like, whatever. And then you do have super involved owners and there's a whole big thing and there's a lot of big changes going on. So
I think
Mhm.
at first he's gonna be super hands on because he's been trying to buy like a sports team for a while.
Yeah.
And he's a big sports guy too. So we'll see. And
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys are. I don't know if you guys listen to Bill Simmons, but he called this a couple months ago. He's like the Suns are going to get sold for like 4 billion, and he said, I believe the guy's name is Matt, like Ipsy or something.
mhm,
He said it was one potential buyer, and then today he released a podcast like discussing it, and he said a name to look at is Sam Presti as a guy that he might try to hire from the OKC Thunder. He might try to poach him to the
mhm,
Suns. So we'll see.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be maybe like a change in leadership, but
mhm.
like besides the owner in terms of other things, but we'll see what happens. But I just kind of want to make the point of like how much NBA is worth and like how much money it goes in that league. But let's transition to like your guys' favorite topic is
Oh,
the Houston Rockets. I'll let you guys take the
here
wheel on this one.
hitting the rocket segments. Uh, yeah, I think the first point made here is that Jalen Green's shooting has been pretty inconsistent and
Not inconsistent. It's been awful lately, bro.
awful. Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean, I
mean,
feel he can get hot every once in a while, but more
no, he
often than
hasn't
not.
even he hasn't even been getting hot lately. It's like
Mhm.
he's been shooting 25% last like 10 games or some shit from three.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I'm way far away from calling Jalen Green a bust because like he still has the athletic ability. He jumps up high. He catches lobs. Like so.
I don't think he's a bust, but it's like
Mhm.
I'm worried his ceiling would be like a Jordan Clarkson, Zach Levine type player.
Oh, really?
Like we just talked about Levine, like your scorer. Like
Mhm,
Jalen's nowhere near Zach Levine. Levine's like still a elite shooter,
mhm.
but yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm worried about.
it's it is worrisome because like as you're saying, he has been kind of like a pro long time. Like I know he had his struggles last season, but the second half he kind of like showed major improvements, hitting his shots. It's just it is worrisome that hopefully he can fix his shot.
Yeah, he just needs to find his touch again.
Yeah, which I hope so because like if the Rockets are gonna invest on making him a cornerstone piece, then you want to make sure that he is that guy, you know. And that's just gonna depend on this upcoming draft because, as you said, this is a deep draft coming in next season, and you obviously want to when on a rebuild, you want to prioritize your cornerstone piece, right? If Jalen Green is not that guy, then maybe the Rockets put their effort in developing like Scoot, for example, in case we get the second pick. You know, you make that
Yeah.
your primary player that you invest and develop.
Nah, I feel like no one on this team is safe. Like everyone's replaceable. It's just
Mhm.
like speaking of cornerstones, the Rockets treat Kevin Porter Jr. as the cornerstone of the franchise when he's clearly like the sixth man at best. Yeah. Like he's
But I
leading the
mean,
league in turnovers. He's 22nd or like even below in assists.
mhm,
And like I feel like they bend over their back to like appease him because they know like he might burst out at any moment, like cause a scene. I feel like
mhm.
that's been the MO for like the last couple of years with him. But
Yeah, I mean, I still think that he is our best point guard currently on a roster. Like right now with the current roster,
I
I think
mean,
he is the best
I
point
feel
guard.
like passing wise, Ty and even Knicks might be better than him. It's just
Mhm,
like he has the rock. They like force him to like be a point guard. And he's trying
mhm,
to. That's why he has the ball all the time in his hands. He's a good pass. Like he makes some good passes, but like
mhm.
I don't think he has a feel for the game as a point guard.
I,
And that's like
I mean, keep in
the
mind
big
that
thing.
this is his second season, and apparently he barely reached like I think this past week a full season of like play time. You know, because I think he was his first season in the league. I'm not sure
No,
if he was injured or
it's like two
something.
full seasons, but
Oh,
still
two
like
full seasons, yeah.
like developing a feel as a point guard, like having that point guard instinct. It's like
Mhm.
it's not easy to develop. Like they can like how much time are they going to spend doing that? Like
I mean,
they sat John Wall for like a year
yeah.
just so he could learn that. Paid him
I,
$40 million to do nothing, and then same thing this year.
he is on the clock in terms of like solidifying that he is the point guard for the team. Because if you think about it, like hypothetically, I do want us to get the first pick, but the second pick on the upcoming draft is Scoot, who is a point guard, right? So he's obviously going to be put at the number one
Yeah, and then
position.
KPJ is a six man in my opinion. I've been saying that for the last couple of years.
Mhm.
I think his ceiling is a six man. And like even if we don't get Scoot, there's another like point guard who's 6'7". I think Asar Thompson, one of the
Mhm.
Thompson twins.
Yeah.
He I think has a better feel as a point guard than KPJ.
But you also mentioned that you still think that Tai Tai, for example, I mean, I don't think Knicks is going to be on the roster next season, but I still think Tai Tai is going to be on
Hey,
the
we
roster.
know the Rockets front office like loves that man. Even though he played his best game of his career last game,
I
they
mean, he
like
did
love
play
that
for real.
man, and they
So,
value him as a lottery talent. So, I don't know.
that's my thing. As a backup point guard, it makes more sense that you may put Tai Tai if he has a better feel as a point guard position. So, do you move KPJ because apparently he is on a higher stat wise? He is on one of the best leagues catch and shoot threes. So maybe they move him at the two, maybe.
But he is, but in his like mindset, he likes jacking up like terrible shots,
Hmm.
and that's something they haven't been able to get out of him. He does that every game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's tricky. It's tricky because KPJ is going to be the odd man out next season if he doesn't figure it out.
I mean, his
Whether he,
contract is they can just like not pick up his option next year. He'll be a free
Mhm.
agent. So that
Yeah.
sense, like I feel like he's gonna be. I've been saying he's gonna be a six man. I feel like he's gonna be a six man, and we'll see how he reacts. I don't think he's gonna react to it well. If they take the, that's another thing where I think like they treat him like a baby,
Hmm.
and like they like bend over their backs to like do whatever he wants to do. Because
Hmm.
when he loses that starting point guard job, it's gonna be like a whole locker room like toxic BS. There's gonna be like a storm coming.
Yeah, because I mean, just like the Rockets itself, we're pretty stacked on in guards, I guess, and like
No, we say that, but actually we're not stacked at guards at all because
I
everyone's
don't
like
think so.
replaceable. Everyone's
Hmm.
replaceable. Like
Like
Knicks,
your opinion,
like
who's safe? Who's safe right now?
maybe Jalen Green at the guard position. Jalen Green, maybe that's like the because you invested so much in him. He still has a shit ton of potential. But like
Hmm.
Ty, I feel like he's already a better point guard than KPJ. But KPJ is like an overall better player at this point.
I mean, I think it's still a small sample size. He had some valuable minutes for 2 games right now. I would want to see from Tata is a little bit more aggressive on the scoring wise because I think he's
I
a
mean,
lot
he
more
played like
passive.
4 minutes. 4 minutes last game, he scored 9 points. It's just
Hmm.
he knows his opportunity. I saw a Rocket tweet from like someone on Rockets Twitter. It's like
Hmm.
whenever a Rockets player knows they're about to be subbed out, they start jacking up shots because they know they
Hmm.
won't get another opportunity.
Hmm.
I feel like these guys get so limited minutes, like Tai, like they're like so focused on not making a mistake that they just can't play their game. Because Salas's
Yeah.
rotations, he plays three centers, like random, like he plays three point guards sometimes. And
Hmm.
like once Tate is back, and if they say they're gonna trade Eric Gordon this year, but we'll see. They've been saying that for the last couple of years. And
Hmm.
if Tate comes back, it's gonna be a bigger logjam. And like KJ Martin, if he
Hmm.
doesn't start, he's gonna leave.
Yeah, because like there's been the reports that KJ has been a little bit like
Yeah, which
less than
is
happy with the
understandable because
minutes.
he should
Yeah.
be starting.
Hmm.
Eric Gordon should not be starting.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon should come off the bench.
Yeah, because I think he's averaging right now like 24 minutes a night or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's inconsistent because some nights he won't hit those 20-minute marks. Uh, and he does deserve to start. It's just the problem is that we do have Eric Gordon on the roster, and there's been reports of that there's multiple teams interested in Eric Gordon, but again they want to package KJ Martin with Eric Gordon.
Right now, the backers should be Eric Gordon, Tari, maybe either Tate comes back or like Bruno or somebody.
Hmm.
That should be the backup. Or like switch KPJ, like in the future, KPJ, Tari, like You can play KPJ and Tai together. Tari, Tate, and like somebody else. But
I mean,
I
any
don't know.
position that the KPJ gets moved is not going to happen this season.
No, I'm
That
just like I'm telling you right now. Like if he gets demoted, like even if they draft like Scoot or somebody, they're gonna say, "Oh, KPJ is still the starting point guard if they bring him back." There's gonna be a
Mhm,
whole thing. They're just gonna waste a lot of time, and
mhm.
it's gonna be a mess once he loses that job.
It's gonna be interesting to see how he takes it, just
I
because.
don't think he's gonna take it well. Everything we've seen from him, he's on like right now. Everything's good. He's the starting point guard. He can jack up
Mhm,
as many shots as you want. He knows he's not losing his job, and
mhm,
like everything's good. All the teammates are his best friends and all that shit.
mhm.
But we'll see. We'll see when shit starts happening when there's like actual consequences, especially with this front office. Like
Yeah.
Raphael Stone, you built a bad
Mhm,
team. Like I know
Mhm.
they're young, but like you built a bad team. Where we might have the worst record for like three years in a row.
Mhm.
Like if he doesn't like I don't care if you nail like a draft pick here and there.
Yeah.
If you don't get it together, you're done.
I mean, we have to get it together this season or this draft. Like we have to nail it just because we don't own our picks starting next season.
Yeah, OKC
OKC
has their
owns it.
future for the next couple years.
Yeah, and the fact that we're on the same conference as OKC, it just doesn't benefit us.
Also have a young ass roster, who
Yeah,
actually have a system, who have the 12th ranked defense, who actually play defense, who actually have a superstar in SGA.
and the fact that we haven't even seen OKC at full strength because Chet is out for
Yeah,
the whole season.
Chet might be like the best player in this draft. He hasn't
Mhm.
even played. And
Yes,
imagine if they get Chet and Wemby or like Chet or like
yeah,
Scoot next year.
yeah. Good luck shooting, shooting over them. Uh, yeah, so it's
Imagine like SGA, Scoot, Giddy, Chet, or like
mhm.
one of the little Williams. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about the Rockets. Like I'm not optimistic. You know my stance on the coaching staff. I'm
Mhm.
not. I don't like them at all. I like now. I'm like turning my the front office. Like I'm like pessimistic about them. Like this is the
Yeah,
off season for them to get it together. There's
yeah,
reports like
and like I think with Silas, I think he only has. Uh, I'm not sure how coaches' contracts are worked in the NBA, but I think he has another guarantee year or something like that.
I mean, if they want him gone, Fox is gone. Like coaching contracts aren't that big. And
Mhm.
there were reports from like Tim McMahon, who's like a big plugged in Rockets like Southwest NBA division source. He's like,
Mhm.
don't be surprised if James Harden comes back this offseason. And
Oh,
if they
really?
give Harden I know Harden's like a franchise legend, and he's the
Mhm.
actual point guard. And if he comes back, KPJ's gone to the bench for sure. But
Mhm.
if, if they like sign Harden to a max or a near max contract, like burn this franchise to the ground. Like how
No, that's
stupid are you?
no, that's just gonna burden like the future contracts because like we finally have the cap space, right? And I know you said that Stone built a pretty bad team. I think the talent is there. It's just
No, like
finding a way to
maybe
click it.
the talent might not even be there. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Like we don't know if Jalen like fixes his shooting woes.
Mhm.
Like last year he was terrible in the first half. He was decent in the second half. This year he
Mhm.
started okay, and now he's one of the worst shooters in the league.
Mhm.
Jabari is one of the worst shooters in the league. Like
Yeah. Wait, are you sure that Jabari is one of the worst shooters? I thought he like most
he's
like recently he fixed his shot. His three has been like
we'll see,
hitting
but
at
he's still shooting 31% from three, bro. He's still
1%.
one of the worst shooters in the league, especially with people
Mhm.
who've taken over 200 attempts or
Yeah,
like tough
I'll take a
shots.
look at like a more recent sample size, maybe like the last 10 games or something, just because it feels
Jabari
like.
has some of the most open threes in the league,
Mhm.
spot up wise, and he's shooting like one of the worst percentages.
I mean, in the beginning of
Uh,
the season, he was very passive with his threes. He was really hesitant. I was like, he should definitely take those. But
and
I
then
guess that
like
just takes us. Oh, sorry, I
uh,
was gonna say that takes us to the last bullet point here is just
yeah.
with the upcoming draft. Do you draft for fit or do you draft for talent? Like with the current rockers, like roster that we have right now.
uh, it's always about talent because we have no fit on this roster. This team has
Hmm.
no identity. This is like we don't know what we do. I don't know if you
Hmm.
saw like some of the game last game against the Spurs. We're
Hmm.
running plays where like guys are running against each other. They don't know what to do.
Hmm.
Like Salas is not he like before the season started. There's all this talk about like we're gonna finally he can implement his full offensive vision in his system.
Hmm.
That didn't happen, and like it's just like a bunch of shit. Like the team just looks like it's playing pickup ball out there, which might have worked
Hmm.
with Harden because Harden's Harden. He's
Hmm.
good enough where he can get away with that. But these guys are bums. Like you can't do
Damn,
that
man.
shit. And like I get emails every week, like when the Rockets go on like a 2 game winning streak. It was like, come out
Mhm.
to the Rockets game. Team's exciting. It's like nobody wants to see KPJ like shoot a contested like step back three and where he breaks it, or like Jalen like break a wide open three, or Jabari like lose the ball like in a mid fast
Yeah,
break, or
yeah,
like or Şengün like balling out and then
Oh
they
my
take him
god.
out, not playing the rest of the game.
yeah, did not hold back.
And then like see the IG post after the game where like Jalen posts a picture of himself after like a 20-point loss and KBJ like comments twin or like some stupid ass bullshit like that.
Bro.
like the guys might like each other, but they all stuck together. Like I guess if you want that as your franchise, then go like Ty Washington. He did like an IG live today, and like someone said, "Y'all doing an admirable job of tanking," and like Ty was sad because these guys are actually trying to win games, and it's also sad because they're so bad. But
yeah, and that's my thing. Like in the eyes of these players, there's no such thing as a good loss. To them, it's a loss, and like you get pretty tired of that pretty quickly. After a second season of a disappointment, like players are gonna want out when they see that if they don't have a clear direction of where this team is going, then they're like, what's the point? Like we already see it with KJ Martin.
like fans, we don't even know what direction this team is going, bro. Like I don't know what they're doing.
Like the fact that we're debating whether KPJ is gonna be like a bona fide point guard, like starting point guard, the backup 6-man at the point guard, or maybe he's gonna go to the 2. Is KJ happy enough here? Is he happy with his current minutes? Should we play him more? Are we even training Everett Gordon? There's a lot of what ifs, and the fact that we don't have a clear direction is worrisome, especially since this is our last season that we should be tanking. After that, like clock is ticking.
I'm telling you, if we don't get like, I don't know, if we don't get like a top 4 pick, or look, not even that, if we don't get a top 2 pick, and then re-sign KPJ, or like to pick up his option, and they keep Silas, like this whole fan base is gonna tear itself apart. They're already doing it like every week. I don't want to be edited out, so I'm not gonna say anything else. But yeah. I said all I need to say.
I don't believe me. They are fed up too, man. They're just not disappointed. They're fed up with the coaching, with the fact that we lost to the Spurs just because
we lost to the Spurs twice. And they didn't even have their best player this time, bro. We got blown out.
Yeah, I think they were missing three starters.
We come out at halftime, and then halftime when we like get outscored by like 20 points or some shit.
Yeah, we
what are they doing at halftime, bro? Like, what are they doing at halftime?
Yeah, the fact that when the Rockets go up against a 3-2 zone, or 2-3 maybe, 2-3 zone, they don't know how to break that.
Bro, teams can play a 0-0 zone on the Rockets and have nobody on the court, and these motherfuckers will still not score. That's how bad they are, bro.
Yeah, honestly, that should be an emphasis on practice, just because like when they're being played man to man, they do pretty well because they run ISOs and they run by their man and they can outmatch their guy. But when they're going against a zone defense, they just fall apart, and that's something I don't get. Like this is something that y'all should be working on by now. Like that
all
should be.
I'm gonna say is thank God the Astros won the World Series because this city is garbage in sports. It's a garbage sports city, bro.
Texans are not looking good. The Rockets are. I got us a bit worried, but it looks like the Astros are still in it. They're still going to be a major card for next year. So
yeah, they re-signed Brantley.
Yeah, a Dynamo. I'm not sure what's going on with them. But
who?
Pretty much, right? But yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the wrap up the Rockets segment, and I think that's.
How did we go over an hour this week, bro? I'm gonna stop.
Bro, y'all talked for like 15 minutes straight about straight Rockets. That was the longest segment we had this whole podcast.
He's cutting me off like 3 minutes in. I don't want to talk about the Rockets.
Once y'all start, y'all can't stop. It's funny because y'all have two ends of the spectrum when it comes to like the Rockets and how they should be handled. Same as like over here. And then,
no,
like over here.
Y'all
agree on a few things. Y'all agree on a few things, but like you'll say one thing and then like Bilal's like, oh hell no, and be on the other side of it.
I think this has been one of the weeks of like Rocket segment that me and Bilal I see a little bit more eye to eye in terms
for sure
what's gonna go on with the Rockets. It's just I had higher expectations for the Rockets starting this season, and it's a bit disappointing. It's worrisome actually that we're looking this bad. After like having a full season with these players and the direction, the coaching, but we'll see. Hopefully they can get it together. But yeah. Thank y'all folks for tuning in this week to our League Watch. Happy holidays. Hope everyone
Happy
spends
holidays.
Mary Chrysler.
it. Merry Chrysler. Hope everyone spends it with their friends and family. Get lots of presents, eat a lot of dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ignore those
this-
work emails. Just enjoy the moment. Spend time with family and friends. Let them know you
Facts.
love them. All positive
Facts.
things.
We'll see y'all next week, which I think our podcast is scheduled to happen.
We can schedule it, but it'll probably get moved.
Honestly, yeah. If y'all do make it this far into the podcast, who knows?
Yeah.
We're probably the
Who,
most
who
inconsistent.
listening this far in, bro?
My mom.
Who knows?
What's wrong with you?
My mom and dad. Shout out.
If
Shout
y'all
out
do make it to
our
this far,
dedicated listeners.
if y'all do make it to this far into the podcast, message me and I'll Venmo you $5 as a reward.
I'm gonna tell everybody to listen to this
Hey,
one.
No. I'm gonna find out.
Hey, before we head out, like Sam was first place in our fantasy football league, and y'all don't know how mad that makes me. Like I never want to play fantasy football again because this man auto drafted. This man doesn't know any of the players, and he still finished first. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Bro, I finally had a good I think this is my third time doing fantasy football. First one, my QB gets injured and is out for the season, I think, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then the second season, I did okay, but I didn't make it to the playoffs. But
I think we made the finals last year. I think we were like fourth.
Oh, did I? I thought I was on the consolation.
Hey man, did I? Oh, I don't know. I'm good.
Hey
man, fuck out of here.
Yeah, fantasy football is going well. Basketball, I'm struggling out there.
Basketball, my whole team is hurt, but like we'll see.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram is out, and then Embiid,
I had LeBron out for a while. Steph is out. I had DeJounte out. It's like crazy. Wendell Carter's been out. It's been crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I still got hope. I will see how fantasy basketball goes. But yeah, I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Thanks for listening.
Peace out. Have a great night.
Jeez.
All day.